Hello students, my topic of discussion today is friction, which is on unit 3 of the syllabus of basic physics. The concept of friction plays a vital role in the field of science and engineering. Friction is the retarding force that comes into play when a body tends to move or actually move over the surface of another body. So here is any pushing force and the tendency of motion along this direction. Friction will appear here to resist this motion. So sometimes it is referred as frictional resistance. Now, what is the origin of this frictional force or frictional resistance? The older view was that whatever be the smoothness of the surface, there are irregularities. When a body is placed on another body, there are interlocking of the irregular projections, like here you can see in the figure of the two surfaces. When some force is applied to make one body move over the other, the motion is restricted due to interlocking of such irregularities. However, the modern concept is the cause of friction is largely due to the atomic and molecular forces of attraction between the two surfaces at the point of their actual contact. Now let us discuss about the classification of friction. Friction may appear in the case of solid, fluids, and in the case of fluid it is called viscosity, and that's a separate chapter in your syllabus. We'll concentrate more on the solid friction, solid to solid friction. We can classify the force of friction into three categories. Number one is static friction. It is the force of friction which exactly balances the applied force during the stationary state of the body. So it is self-adjusting force. Number two is limiting friction. It is the maximum value of the static friction. It appears when a body is just going to start sliding. And number three category is the kinetic friction. It comes into play if the two bodies in contact are in relative motion. This kinetic motion, friction can also divide it into sliding friction and rolling friction. And the rolling friction can also divide it into pure rolling and rolling with slipping. Now we'll see a graph. Here it is illustrated graphically how the frictional force increases at the same rate as the applied force. The slope of the curve is constant and equal to unity. When the static friction becomes maximum, here it represents the limiting friction. Now if the applied force exceeds this value, the body begins to move, and this stage the frictional force suddenly decreases and becomes kinetic friction. So here also we can see that from point O to the limiting friction, the frictional force is self-adjusting one. Now we'll discuss about the laws of friction. These laws are based on experimental observations only. So the first law is the direction of the force of limiting friction is always opposite to that in which the motion tends to take place. Number two, the force of limiting friction acts tangentially to the two surfaces in contact. Number three, the magnitude of the limiting friction is directly proportional to the normal reaction between the two surfaces. Number four, the force of limiting friction depends on the material and the nature of the surface and their state of roughness or smoothness. Number five, the magnitude of the limiting friction is independent of the shape of the area of the surface in contact, so long as the normal reaction remains same. So it is very interesting that the force of friction doesn't depend on the area. Now, coefficient of friction. Consider a body is lying on the horizontal surface. If R be the normal reaction and if ms, that is the maximum static friction, which is the limiting friction, from the laws of friction, we can write that Fms is directly proportional to the normal reaction R, or Fms equal to mu s into R. This mu s is the uh, constant of proportionality, and it is known as the coefficient of static friction. So mu s is the ratio of the limiting friction and the normal reaction. As it is the ratio of two forces, so mu s is dimensionless or unitless. Now we'll discuss about the angle of friction and angle of repose. Now angle of friction is the angle which is the resultant of two forces of limiting friction F ms and the normal reaction R mixed with the normal reaction. So here in this figure, a body is resting on a horizontal surface. If ms is the limiting friction, R is the normal reaction, and this is the resultant of these two. Now this makes an angle theta with the normal reaction, then theta is the angle of friction. Now from this triangle, we can say tan theta is equal to Fms by R. Now from the laws of friction, we know that the ratio of Fms and R is mu s, that is coefficient of static friction. So tan theta is mu s, where theta is the angle of friction. Again, angle of repose is the angle that an inclined plane makes with the horizontal when a body placed on it just starts sliding down. So from the figure, phi is the angle of repose. If we take the rectangular components of the weight W into W cos phi and W sin phi, so the limiting friction will appear along this direction as it is tending to sliding down. So from here we can write the normal reaction R is equal to W cos phi, and the limiting friction Fms is equal to W sin phi. So W sin phi by W cos phi is equal to Fms by R, and again from laws of friction we know that it is equal to mu s, and from here we get it is equal to tan phi. So we have arrived into a very interesting conclusion that the numerical value of angle of friction and angle of repose are same. Now we'll calculate the work done in moving a body through a rough surface. In the case of a horizontal surface, it is very simple that we have to multiply the frictional force with the displacement. That is, if m be the mass of any object, mu k into mg will be the frictional force, and if s be the distance, that mu k mg into s will be the work done. But situation becomes interesting when we move object through an inclined plane. Suppose this is an inclined plane with inclination theta, and an object is resting on it, and we move it up with a constant speed with the application of external force P. Now we'll take the rectangular components of the weight mg into mg cos theta and mg sin theta. So from the figure, it is clear that the mg cos theta will be balanced by the normal reaction. So we can write R is equal to mg cos theta, and the external force P will be balanced by the mg sin theta and the kinetic friction Fk. Here Fk is kinetic friction because the body is moving through constant speed. Now what is Fk? Fk is the mu k into the normal reaction, where mu k is the coefficient of kinetic friction. So Fk is equal to mu k into the normal reaction, that is mg cos theta. So ultimately we are getting that P is equal to mg sin theta plus Fk, that is mu k mg cos theta. So what will be the work done? Work done will be W is equal to P dot S, that is W is equal to mg sin theta plus mu k mg cos theta dot S. Now let's see what will be the work done when the body is moved down. So situation is same, inclination is theta, and we'll again take the component of the weight mg into mg cos theta and mg sin theta. So here the normal reaction R will be equal to mg cos theta. Now as the body is moving down with a constant speed, the friction will appear in this direction, that is in the upward direction. So from the figure we can write Fk will be balanced by the composition of mg sin theta and P. So the frictional force Fk is equal to mu into the normal reaction, mu k into normal reaction mg cos theta, and P plus mg sin theta is equal to mu k mg cos theta, that is Fk. Or ultimately we are getting P is equal to mu k mg cos theta minus mg sin theta. So what is the work done in moving through a distance s? W is equal to mg into mu k cos theta minus sin theta dot s. Now we'll discuss about some advantages and disadvantages of friction. Because of friction, we can perform several things, such as simple walking. It would be impossible without friction. Brakes use friction to stop vehicles. Road requires friction to drive vehicles. Treading of tires, that is making groove in tires, is done to increase friction. Friction helps to transmit power from motors and engines. For example, bell drives or clutches uses friction to operate. There are several disadvantages of friction also. Um, it produces unnecessary wear and tear. For that, we have to compromise with the longevity of the machine. Friction produces heat in moving parts of machines. A part of useful energy dissipated in overcoming friction. We have to use extra fuel. So it becomes very important to reduce the value of the friction or frictional resistance in the field of engineering. So here are some techniques of reducing friction, and some engineering applications are also given. Number one is polishing. Simple polishing makes the reduces the irregularities to some extent, that reduces the interlockings, so it reduces friction in considerable amount. Number two is very important, that is lubrication. Lubrication is applying a kind of oil between the surfaces of two solid, and in that case it makes a thin layer of fluid between the solid surfaces, and we know that viscosity is much less compared to the sliding friction, so the lubrication reduces the friction in considerable amount. The third technique is converting sliding friction into rolling friction. Whenever possible, we can convert sliding friction into rolling friction, because rolling friction has much less value compared to the sliding friction, such as ball bearing, roller bearing, etc. Or wheel, we can use wheel instead of sliding. So in this way, we can reduce the friction. Another way is streamlining. Actually, it works in the case of fluids, that is viscosity. It's making any object of a particular shape that helps reducing the friction or viscosity. Use of air cushion is another way. It is similar to the lubrication, but instead of oil or liquid, we use compressed air. Number 6 is avoiding moisture. Moisture also increases the friction, so avoiding moisture can reduce the friction. And number 7 is use of alloys. Some alloys have very low coefficient of friction, so instead of the pure metal we can use alloys. So these are the several methods of reducing friction. So students, I think this discussion will help you, and that's all for today. Thank you very much.